can't paint the walls. I can't add a cool speaker system.
Right.
I can't wire and shit the home. And, you know, dude, I'm going to do
that stuff makes you feel good. For like 6 years, I was a bouncer, like taking all the girls' IDs. I was dating.
Bro, it's literally how to take a metal detector and make 10 grand a month. And that's his offer.
I had talked to one of your salesmen, and then you hopped on the phone, and I was like, dude, I'm going to run it. And you're like, all right, give me your credit card. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, my name is Andrew Kraft. I run a wholesale real estate company. And 6 months ago, I decided to start getting into education. And so I had hopped on a call with my buddy here, Jason Wojo, who runs a large marketing company. And he got me rolling in the game with branding, education, all that. So I'm going to let him introduce himself and what he does for a living. So go ahead, take it.
Yeah, bro. First of all, appreciate you having me. I'm really excited about this because we first met on the phone, and then you came to the event in Scottsdale that we had at Scale Your Ads. But yeah, for you guys who don't know who I am, my name is Jason Wojo. I'm a 9-figure advertiser. I've been in the space now for over 6.5-ish years. We've ran $30 million in ad spend, done $122 million online, and 90 plus niches and verticals. I have the biggest following online in the entire ad space. We have over 1.5 billion views, 1.1 million followers. It's been an awesome journey. And we also run Scale Your Ads, which is where I got to meet Andrew in person. Scale Your Ads is a event business that we created for business owners to come in person and learn about ads and funnels and copy and all that fun stuff. And it's been a cool journey, like bolting that onto Wojo Media, which is the main company that we run. And yeah, we do about $11 million a year, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, now we're here. That's it.
Yeah, and so the biggest thing like I kept hearing was like branding. How important do you think branding is in today's world?
Yeah, so that comes to the conversation of like when people ask, is marketing more important than sales? Because if you have massive brand and you're really good at marketing, then to be honest, you don't have to be that good at sales.
Right.
Like sales is this game where if you want to be, or your sales team wants to be really, really good, that means that your offers are harder to sell. You need to have better salespeople on the front end to make sure that you're converting an offer at scale. So like that's why I always talk about offer so much. Because like you're like the brand and the offer combined, if they're really sexy, dude, it's easier to sell.
Sells itself.
You don't need like crazy A+ sales reps. You could have C and B sales reps sell a really sexy offer with a big ass brand.
And what's crazy was like in December, I was like, dude, I have no branding. I had no education platform. I had nothing set up. And you're like, no, that's fine. Like, let's just set this shit up and then we'll start rolling. And I remember like getting on the phone before and I was kind of hesitant and it's like, oh, it's $15,000. But like that $15,000, I mean, I think this month alone, we've done $35,000 in revenue. I have a guy flying in on Monday who's going to pay me $15,000 for a 3-day in-person, plus 12 months of coaching, and it's a pay in full.
That's cool.
And then we have like 4 more students that we're going to onboard in the next week, which is an additional, you know, we're charging $7,000 a person. So, I mean, this month is looking potentially like a $50,000 month, and that's all because of, you know, your leads, your marketing, your branding, all that stuff. And that's what's crazy is the power of branding is so important, you know? And I can't even tell you like what it's done for me over the last 6 months, like tons of opportunities, employees, money, educational opportunities, people wanting to give me more money to invest into properties. So it's crazy what you can do with branding.
Yeah, like the big thing too is to go back to your point of like, oh, like you didn't have a lot of stuff set up.
Yeah.
And this is the big thing that I see in the space is everybody's waiting for this like perfect time to do shit. And you know what's crazy is that the only way you're going to do is if you spend money.
Right.
Like if you spend the money, then you're forced to do it.
Yeah.
And that's really the biggest hack that
100%.
I've ever had is like, hey, if something is not going my way, you have to either pay for the solution or if you want to start something and you're afraid to start, if you spend the money, you intrinsically force yourself to take the shit more seriously.
And like I look at my business, like at first I was having problems with like getting appointments. And even like Christian, one of your head marketers, was like, dude, you gotta spend more. You gotta spend more. You gotta spend more. And like that's just the truth of it. Like right now we're spending $30,000 a month on ads. So I spend $20,000 a month on my wholesale real estate business. And then I spend $10,000 a month on the education. And it's like you still are like if you have everything set up right, you should be doing a 3 to 4x ROI. You know what I mean? Or ROAS,
Yeah.
on your return on ad spend. And that's what I've seen. And like, it's only getting better and better as we get more branding, more content, all that stuff. So
I mean, dude, like all the
that's what's
podcasts,
crazy.
like the podcast
Yeah.
stuff you're doing with this dude, that's great. It's a
Yeah.
great brand play. And also like just more consistency on like multiple platforms too. So I don't know if you post on shorts every day or like
Yeah.
Facebook Reels, but like make sure that it's like more omnipresent and like just
Right.
more consistent. And you'll start to see that like revolving, not just a revolving door of customers, but like a revolving door of engagement.
Right.
And that's like massively important because people always focus on the platforms that have given them the most attention already. They're like, oh,
Right.
well, I've had such a big base on
Right,
Instagram.
Yeah. But
Okay.
you still got TikTok.
You still got TikTok, Facebook, YouTube.
Facebook,
Like there's so
YouTube,
many more
yeah.
things to tap into.
Yeah, and what's crazy was when I was talking to Christian, I'm like, yeah, so I'm like, I didn't realize how much I was spending. Like I look at all my businesses combined, I'm spending $50,000 a month. And then, I told Christian that, and he's like, dude, Jason's spending $10,000 a day. I was like, So he's like, dude, you want to make $500,000, $1 million, $2 million a month. He's like, you got to stop worrying about how much you're spending and just spend more and just make sure that you have the right systems and processes and sales to like be able to catch all the leads and convert them.
Yeah. And
You
like,
know?
dude, most of that spend, man, when people hear that number, they're like, oh, he's just spending it because he's just closing people on big high ticket packages. Here's the thing is that we divvy up into multiple offers. Like we
Right.
have Scale Your Ads that spends
Right.
$1,000 a day. We have the book calls that does about $6,000 or $7,000 a day. We have
Right.
my book funnel spends $1,000 a day. We have $2,000
Right.
a day on low ticket. Like these are multiple offers that are bolt-ons.
Right, that are bolt-ons.
So they always stay consistent to the actual final thing that we want you to land into, which is what you landed into.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's all this ecosystem piece.
And what was crazy was like the Scale Your Ads, dude, that was like a life-changing event. Like really, really good. Like I recommend everyone go to his events because like I think everyone has a money block. And like when I was sitting there listening to him, I'm just like, dude, it's so true. Because like the more you spend, the more you're going to make. And like you got to stop being worried about spending the money. Like if people go and spend $100,000 to go to ASU, and it's like you're gonna make $50,000 a year, and you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna charge you $15,000, and I'm gonna teach you how to make $50,000 to $100,000 a month." It's like a joke. Like it's crazy, like how undervalued like high ticket coaching really is. Because like you should charge more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We did up the price.
You know what I mean? Because like, dude, like amazing value. Like I've had the best experience. Like I've gone through my ups and downs. Like obviously like starting a business is not easy, but like now I'm seeing like the fruits of the labor. I'm like, dude, this is going to be crazy.
And you got in
know?
it when we shot the ads for you in person.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We stopped.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
people were getting weirder on camera. We were like,
Right.
yo, you got to do this shit on your own time.
Yeah.
So you were like the last group
Yeah.
to get it shot in person.
Yeah. And the crazy thing was like, it was before I even went to the event. So I really just like saw your Instagram and I was like, dude, this guy's killing it. Like he's got all this content. Like he's doing all these like big marketing budgets. Like I'm like, okay, he obviously knows what he's doing. And what's crazy is like I've worked with a lot of marketers, but like when you start to see like actually like the retargeting, how the ads work and the different kind of like setups, like dude, you guys do such a good job. Like you guys do really, really
appreciate
good.
it. Yeah.
Like the pages, how they're set up, the load speed, like I'm big on all of that stuff, but like the branding is definitely a lot harder, I think, than most marketing. You know what I mean? Because typically for most marketing, you're running like one page. You guys are running a bunch of different ad creatives and then watching the metrics and going back and like, okay, this works, this doesn't work. Okay, we're going to turn this on. Like it takes a ton of time.
Yeah.
It takes a ton of time.
And like, dude, it's a different course of where to even pick an offer too, because you did low ticket, going to high ticket, and like some
Yeah.
people go straight to high, and it's like it really depends on your niche.
Yeah.
It's like trying to find that sweet spot between low ticket and high ticket, and like, what do I charge? How do I lead them in? Is my front end product taking too much away from the back end? Because that's a big thing too with low ticket is
Yeah.
that what you sell on the front end could take a lot away from what you want to upsell on the back end.
Right.
But if you just want to sell access, which is like the one-on-one stuff that you're doing,
Right.
access will win. It doesn't get foiled down,
Right,
you know.
right.
So yeah, that was really important part too. And just like a big thing I want to push home here is that a lot of people always focus on like, yeah, we test a lot of creatives and a lot of copy, but sometimes, man, like you'll find one good video that's
Yeah,
that one
just
hit video
crushes.
that crushes, and you got to let that shit rock.
Yeah.
A lot of people get too shiny. They're like, oh, the ad's working. Let's make more. I'm like,
And that-
nah, slow down.
The one
slow
you
down.
guys filmed, like that one's been crushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
you got to focus on the things that matter the most, which is,
Right.
okay, the ad is working. Are people buying the first order bump? Are people
Right.
buying the upsell? What is the upsell? How do we
Right.
get them to go to the book call? Like,
Right.
you know, or
Right.
we have to retarget them with DM ads, like whatever it looks like. It's got to be a good ecosystem that's backed by numbers, because most
Right.
people run ads.
They don't
and
track all that
They
stuff.
don't track, or
Yeah.
they're too emotional about
Yeah.
spending the money.
Like, you have to track your numbers, because
Yeah.
otherwise you're just burning dollars, you know? And it's like that goes to my next thing. So now you've been doing this and like building a huge reputation. Like, what are some of the big names that you're starting to work with, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so you know, we work with. I just got Bradley this week. We work with Andy Elliott at the Elliott Group. I'll get more into that. We work with Chris Crone, Jamil Damji, Pace Morby, Justin Colby. I've done consulting for Ryan Pineda, Ravi Abuvala, like a bunch of big names. I do consulting for also Grant Cardone, so that's been really exciting to do a little bit of consulting. It's not really that full-fledged, that's why I put it last. It's very small work. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's been cool working with these guys, because you get to see things that they're doing that are working, that, you know, like are cool, but are not always able to be like, you know, picked up and moved to another business. Like you get reverse engineer inspiration from other people. And the thing that we're doing now that I can talk about is we're doing Elliott Leads, which I'm basically going to be co-owner in Andy Elliott's marketing agency. So we're going to we're bolting on a marketing firm to his company so that he can service all of his home service clients, because most of his clients are all sales training.
Right.
So now they're like, hey, Andy, you trained my sales team. Like, I want more leads.
Right.
And Andy, for the longest time, was like, we don't have a marketing firm for that, but now we do.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we're doing that together, and that's been really exciting.
So what is drawing all these people to you? Is it the low ticket, or is it the branding? Is it because you're good at running ads? Like, what's the main?
I think the biggest
reason?
thing, dude, was doing the podcasts, going from person to person.
Right.
Second was having brand. Like, yeah, like their brand is about like and trust. Okay,
Right.
so likability, trust, and like authority. So when I do good for one person, they're gonna say, "Yo, here's Jason. He did this thing with my Facebook ads, and it did really well. Like, you should talk to him." Also, once you get to one high level person, like when I first got to Chris Crone, that was the first person that I got inside of the whole
you're
circle.
like, okay.
Once I got to Chris was like, yo, you got to work. Also, I work with Carlos Reyes too. So I'm doing stuff with Carlos. I have a podcast with him on Monday. And like, once I got to Chris, then I went to Carlos. Then from Carlos, I went to Jamil. And then Jamil went to Pace. And then all those guys talk, man.
Yeah.
And they're like, who's running your ads? Who's doing this? And all of a sudden I'm getting thrown in group chats. And I was like, oh shit, like, all right, cool. And it was an easier conversation. Those kind of conversations are easy sales. Like literally, there's no like, hey, let's talk tomorrow. It's, yo, I know what you charge. Just drop the invoice, send it to my accounting department. I'll pay you tomorrow. That's what it is. And you know,
And those
it's
guys
cool.
pay like that.
Bro, they don't even ask. They're like, oh, you're Wojo? All right, cool, send it.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, sick.
Yeah.
Click, link.
That's like the best clients to work with, because you're like, dude, I don't have to deal with all the BS, and like, you're like, dude, just let me do my thing, and it's gonna work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like, dude, like with the whole like $500 client versus $50,000 client thing, like that whole angle's so right. Like with them too, they're not gonna sit there and ask you, hey, do you really think this is gonna work? Like, what's the best course of action? They're not asking those questions. They're asking, hey man, like how soon can you get started? That's literally the first question.
Yeah. Because that's what sold me. Because like honestly, like I had talked to one of your salesmen, and then you hopped on the phone, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna run it. And you're like, all right, give me your credit card, and I was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Because like it's just the authority. Like I'm like, dude, I already know that like if you're making X amount, right? And I remember like going to your event, and I think you like pulled up your bank account, it was like 3 million like liquid or something, and I'm like looking at it, I'm like, dude, I've never even seen a number like that. You know what I mean? Like you see that like on movies, and I'm just like, dude, it's literally in his Wells Fargo checking account. Like, I'm like, that's just like unfathomable. And you're like, dude, it's just a number. Like, it's just a number. And so like, what's crazy is like right after that, I went from like spending, I think I was spending like 10K a month on wholesale leads. And I upped it to like doubled it to 20,000 a month. And like, dude, this next month I'm gonna make like 196,000. Today I made 25,000. Last week I made 57,000. Like, it's just, I had such a money block that I was like, dude, I'm like scared to spend more money. And now literally like next week I'm gonna up it to 30.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, dude,
It's all numbers.
Yeah, it's all numbers.
It's all bullshit in your head, and you're telling yourself like, oh, what's the difference between 10 and 20? 10,000.
Right.
But people think it's like this massive jump. And I'm like,
massive
bro, you
jump.
take the leap, you now have to figure it out.
Yeah. So it's like if you put your back up against the wall, like you're gonna go and like figure it out and do it, especially if you have the right people. And like that's the biggest thing. Like I've just been networking, but like the branding's been so big. Like, dude, I've gotten some of my best employees because of the branding that you gave me. Yeah. Like my team is like absolutely crushing right now on the wholesale real estate side, which has nothing to do with what I even hired you for. So like that's the cool part about it. And then I had people hitting me up. Like I had a guy, we met up the other day and he's like, hey, I got $800,000 liquid. And he's like, can you invest this for me? And so I'm like, that's just because he's like,
fuck yeah, I can.
Yeah. And that's just because he's like, they're seeing all the numbers and all the social media stuff. And so that stuff starts like putting it in their minds like, okay, obviously like he knows what he's doing. But like I just never was into posting all that stuff. But then when I realized the whole branding aspect, I was like, bro, I'm missing out on so much money.
Yeah. And like, dude, a lot of the times too, even with the branding, it allowed us to not have to sell so much with like sales tactics. Like, dude, our offers are good. The service is good. We don't get you in a corner and be like, yeah, you have to buy this shit right now. Like, no, that's just messed up. So that was just a big premise for us. Like, we realized that brand and who we worked with and the authority and all that stuff, like, really helped out a ton. And it's going to help you, too. Over time, dude, like, you're going to look back 5 years from now and be like, bro, I don't have to fucking sell anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, dude, the stress off your back to where now you can raise prices and no one's going to budge.
Right.
Or you can just get in better rooms, dude. Like, just getting in insane rooms.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy, like, because my first, like I was charging 10, we charge like 7K on the call, but it's 10K for the education package, and it's like a 20 module course. You go through 12 weeks with me in group training, and we do, 2 hours a week, and then, we go through everything on teaching people how to, find houses. We run their marketing, and then do the wholesale real estate aspect, also as well as fix and flips and rentals. And so I had a guy yesterday, he hopped on the call and he's like, dude, I want to work with you one-on-one. This is the first time. And I'm like, well, normally I charge, 7K just for, the pay in full on, the group coaching, but I've never been asked about one-on-one. And I was like, hey, I'll do 15,000. And he's like, bet. He's like, I'll fly out Monday and I'll pay you in person. And I was like, dude, that's crazy. He's like, can I shadow you Monday? And he lives in Nashville. So I was like,
oh, shit.
He's like, and he's got kids and a wife, and it's just like, that's such a surreal feeling that like he looks at my branding, he's like, dude, this is so good, that he's like, I want to fly out there and like go through all your systems processes and pay you 15,000 and shadow you. You know what I mean?
Sick.
Like that's so cool, because I would have never had that if I didn't like sign up with you. Because the thing is like, it's the whole point of high ticket is to go from point A to point Z, but at a much like accelerated rate. You know what I mean? And like, what we've done in like the last 6 months would have taken me years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would have taken me forever, because I needed that push. I needed the expertise and all that stuff. So like, yeah.
Also,
like,
dude, it's all about like, it's about too like the clarity and the reassurance behind your decision too. Like you needed clarity behind, hey, is this the right fit? Like, is this what I should be doing? And then the reassurance of like, okay, like, how is this going to work? What's my roadmap?
Right.
Will it work? What are we going to do? Like, those questions are all completely valid. It's just that most things that stop people are that they use the bigger or the simpler questions to get themselves out of the realm of making a choice. Yeah. Like, it's funny, dude, but that's why I talked about the event about like frequently asked questions on a landing page. FAQs will crush because you're answering the biggest objections.
Yeah. Well, I know. And people tell me that all the time. They're like, oh, dude, I saw this, and that. And I'm like, all your guys' FAQs that you guys built into it, like, it really, like, they don't have to ask those questions. So it's just like getting rid of a huge time waster. Yeah. Which is huge. And so what's crazy, like, so I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. You're from Tampa, right?
Well,
Tampa,
I'm
Florida.
originally from New York.
Oh, you're from New York?
Yeah, I moved to Florida about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
you had to get out of New York.
Bro, New York was a shithole.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta get out. Yeah. Yeah, and like Florida's gorgeous, but what's crazy is like everyone's moving to Scottsdale, right? So I don't know how long Andy Elliott's been here, but I know Eric Klein's moving here. Robert Wensley from Investor Lift just moved here. You just bought a house here, so you're going to be here in 30 days. Why did you decide that you wanted to move here?
Ooh.
Was it the partnership with Andy Elliott?
That was one of the things, yeah.
Yeah.
Second thing was that the home that I got
Mm-hmm.
was just very good value, and it was
Right.
seller financed, so I was
Oh,
able
okay.
to play
Yeah,
a
sorry.
cool arbitrage with
Yeah.
it. Also, I look like I'm not a real estate expert at all,
yeah.
but I just look at like when I look at deals or anything I'm spending money on, I look at like common sense, dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
That's all
where
it
is this
is.
home?
That's literally pretty much all it is.
Yeah.
It's like apples and oranges. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is an apple, this is an apple.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
I looked at the local schools and I was like, all
Yeah.
right, the schools are good.
Yeah.
There was a home that went up 5 houses down that just went up and it was 2.5 million. I'm like, all right, well, mine's not that much. So that's going to hike up the value of mine.
Right.
Pretty sure.
Yeah,
So I was like,
100%.
all right, fuck it. We'll
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
it.
And like Biltmore area is like killer. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah,
mean?
dude. The
Like,
lifetime there is
yeah,
gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, you got Global Ambassador that just went up.
Yeah.
That's like that's a huge hotel. And then like you just have all these wealthy people moving to Scottsdale, which is crazy. So I feel like there's like about to be like a mass like syndication of like all these wealthy people moving here and just like coming in.
I mean, dude, it's a beautiful area.
yeah, it is.
Like, dude, the roads are clean too because
yeah.
I got supercars. I don't
Yeah.
want to get in potholes and
Yeah.
shit. So, you know,
Yeah.
that was a, dude, I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie. That is a big determining
What cars
factor.
do you have right now?
I got my McLaren GT. I got a Bentley.
Yeah.
That's my
The
Bentayga.
McLaren's like what he's known for.
Yeah.
Like he's like the McLaren guy on Instagram.
And then I just got an Aston Martin Vantage.
Yeah.
It's the Roadster.
Dude, that one's the
Dude.
back end of it.
Bro,
is just,
so
like,
sick,
When you
yeah.
turned it on, I was like, oh, I'm like, dude, what is that? I'd never seen that one.
Yeah,
I've
so
never
the
seen that one.
Roadster, the Vantage is a very popular car, but the
Right.
Roadster, there's not a lot
Yeah,
of
I've
Roadsters.
never seen one.
When I first got it, he was like, bro, no one's going to see this shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's
like
cool. He's
Batman.
like, yeah, dude, they only make like 25 every quarter.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. All right, cool. I didn't really
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah. Now he's gonna have all these supercars. You're gonna see Jason going back and forth on Indian school, just just whipping around all his.
But
whips.
dude, that's a huge determining factor where I
Yeah.
live. The
Yeah.
roads have to be clean
Yeah,
because if I can't drive my cars on,
Yeah.
I won't move there.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, this is like one of the best cities. Like, you have the most gorgeous girls. Like, I have friends from Miami, LA, like all over. And like, it's just such a concentrated area, but you have like some of the most gorgeous girls from like all over the
Oh, yeah.
country that come here. So it's like, you got everything. You got, new clients that you can meet, new
Yeah.
girls. You can, whip around your cars. Like you're gonna love it. I mean, it's rough like during the summer, obviously when it's 120, but it's like just don't go outside.
Yeah, just
Like,
don't go outside.
just-
We're just
just
stay
stay-
inside.
yeah, or-
My
or-
AC bill's
you
gonna
got
be
a
like
pool?
$1,000 a month.
You got a pool?
I got a pool,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I got a guy. He's actually walking it right now.
Yeah.
In the corner, so in the back corner, there's a big green patch.
Okay.
So I'm ripping it all out, and
Yeah.
I'm building a half-court basketball court.
Oh, there you
so
go.
like, dude, that's gonna hike up the value.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're actually good at basketball,
Oh,
huh?
bro, I'll ball the fuck up, bro. Don't get me
Yeah.
started.
Yeah, he's actually really good at basketball. It's funny.
Yeah, we're gonna do
Yeah.
cool stuff. Like, we're gonna have a lot of events here, and then we're gonna do cool add-ons,
Right.
bro. Like, where
Right.
it's like you could play me in basketball,
Right.
and we'll do like giveaways with money. You come to the house, like, dude, it's gonna be fucking sick. Like,
So,
this is cool.
other than like the marketing, where do you see it going? Because obviously you're going to keep building it, right? And like you guys are doing what, like 11 million a year?
About 11, yeah. This
Yeah,
year we'll do
11
probably
million.
about 12 or 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, what's kind of next? Because, like you said before, it's like once you start making like $100,000 a month, and then you go to $200,000 a month, like your life doesn't really change,
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't change at
Because
all.
it's like you
Yeah.
still have the same car, the same house, unless like you start buying more. But it's like you pretty much are still doing the same things, and I don't think people realize that. Like, there's kind of a point where you're making so much money, like a lot doesn't change.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing for me right now is like, bro, like everything beyond the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, dude, if I made an extra couple million a year, would my life change? Honestly, no.
Yeah, it's not
And it's
gonna
not to be an
Yeah.
asshole. Like, I know that might
No,
trigger people,
yeah.
but like, dude, it's
But
just
the
not.
truth. Yeah.
Like,
That's
yeah,
the truth.
okay, I could go to,
You're
you
still gonna
know,
live in the Biltmore.
yeah.
You're still gonna drive a supercar.
Yeah, and I'm
You're
like,
still-
dude, I
you
don't
know?
want a Bugatti. That's just
Yeah,
stupid. Like,
yeah.
that's stupid things that
Yeah,
you buy to
right.
feel really like more secure about yourself, which really
Right. Mm-hmm.
is an insecurity. But it's like, dude, like, just like truthfully, bro, I just want to be able to have a house as my own,
Right.
stop paying rent,
Right.
and like, do stuff to my house, dude. Like every other place I've ever rented.
Yeah.
I can't paint the walls. I can't add a cool speaker system.
Right.
I can't wire
Yeah.
and shit the home. And,
Yeah.
dude, I'm going to
That
do a
stuff
cool.
makes you feel good.
Bro, I'm gonna do a
When
cool
you-
mural.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
gonna have a podcast room
Yeah.
in the house, and I'm getting a painter to do a Kobe Bryant memorial
Really?
like on the
That's
wall.
awesome. Yeah.
Like, dude, Kobe's the goat.
That's yeah.
Um,
Hell yeah.
So it's like, just things like that. And it's also this place where in Florida, bro, I've gotten this huge friend group, which has been great to me. But, dude, I'm the host.
Yeah.
I'm always the host. I'm always the person who's paying for everything. And everybody else will say, oh, well, you don't have to do that. Like you could have them pay their fair share. And I'm like, dude, here's the thing, though. When you decide to make more money, you intrinsically become the leader inside of any friend group, and you decide to be this person that people look up to, and that feeling is great. But after a while, dude, it gets tiring.
Yeah.
I was talking about this. I was on a virtual podcast earlier today, and like I was talking about how when you go out with your friends, okay, you are always concerned about what everybody else has. This person's got a food allergy. This person, they usually Uber, and this person's got to be home. This person's got a dog. This person's got a wife. You're worried about all these things about in your friend group. Dude, I'm just tired of that. Or this person doesn't like seafood. Like, dude, I'm over it. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. So that's why I got the house. I was like, yo, I'm going to move here, and no one's going to follow me out here because, to be honest, dude, most of my friends can't afford it. So I was like, all right, let's move. And that was it, dude. And that was a decision for me. And I just want to be able to get more close to myself. Like either that's through faith, that's through self-identity, it's through doing the things that I want to do. Like, bro, I want to wake up, drive to the gym, go to the gym, come back, do my work, and not worry about, oh, this person's car is parked behind me. I got to move my car so he can get out. No, fuck that. Those days are over. So just having more self-time, dude.
Yeah, and I think that's been a huge factor. Like I don't know, I love living here. Like I love the people. I don't have to worry about, like you said, like if we go out, like whether, I cover the bill, then, the next guy will get the next round or the next dinner or whatever. So it's like, it's just nice being, when you're around like-minded people, you're not worrying about all the other crap that doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the majority of people's problems in this world are pretty much money. Yeah. And then, you have health and all these other things. But when you get to a certain point, it's like, and you don't have to think about money, then there should not be a ton of problems other than like life-threatening things where it's like, hey, you can just fucking enjoy yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what you should be doing.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to be doing some cool shit with the house. Like, we're going to have 2 open bedrooms. I'm going to have a maid live with us. Yeah. It's not going to be cheap, but bro, I want to be able to wake up, have my bed made, breakfast, grab me some fucking toast, do little shit like that. I don't want to do that crap.
And that's what people don't understand. Like I have a maid that goes to my apartment every 10 days and does my laundry and things like that. And they're like, why would you do that? I'm like, dude, I don't have time to go. Dude. I'm not going to go, if you have a 40-hour work week, right, or whatever it is, and you're going to waste your time folding laundry for 2 hours, and your time's worth $4,000 an hour. Dude, and it's it's not like you're looking down on anyone or anything like that. It's just literally I'll make more money if I don't do things that I shouldn't be doing. Yeah. And that's just the truth of the matter.
And obviously, dude, I don't know how to fucking fold clothes. Bro, who the hell? I don't even know what the hell I'm
hang
doing.
This shit up. Yeah. But it's but that's the truth. And then you're creating jobs for other people. You know what I mean? So it's honestly doing a service for others. You know what I mean? And then you're building your company so you can hire more people for your company. So then you're producing more revenue and feeding more mouths.
And the funny part is people hate all that stuff. And people hate, big politicians and rich people. They're like, oh, they're taking all the money. Dude, we employ so many people. Show me a W-2 worker who works a 9 to 5, who employs 50 people's families. I would love to wait and see that. And it's bro, we do more than you think. And if you do real estate, if you do new construction, you build a home, someone can now live there. Right. So we're not selfish. We're just doing all the shit that you don't want to do, which is fine, dude. More money for us.
Right. And I'm doing some of my W-2 stuff for my taxes for last year because I'm late. And which is bad. I know. I put it in a section. I was like, oh God, I've been doing way too much work. I haven't even been thinking about my taxes. But I was looking at my W-2 and it's $43,000 from the fire department from last year. And I'm like, dude, I literally made $87,000 last month. And I was looking at it, I'm like, this is so cringy that that I would work an entire year for 40, and it's obviously a little bit more with bonuses and stuff like that and pension, but it's just crazy. You have to put a worth on your time and be okay, what is worth my time? And then also it's what's crazy is even when you make more money, you're still you still feel the same, you still go through all the ups and downs. And that's what I've been learning kind of recently is you post a lot of that stuff, it's like, it doesn't matter how much money you're making. You're still a human. You're still going to have the same problems. So it's like, how do you like deal with some of the stuff that you go through? And do you think like the money even really helps?
I mean, dude, that's a great question. I would say, dude, money's massively important, but it's not the end all be all, because here's the thing. You could have a ton of money, but after the money, dude, do people vouch for you?
Yeah.
Like, do people actually want to be around you? Do people want to hang out with you? Do people want to spend time with you? Do people want to go on vacation with you? Do they want to, go out to eat? Like, those small things really matter, dude. The small experiences and the small memories that you build are
They're
things
everything.
they're forever, bro. And that's
Right.
where, like, me moving out here and, getting new friends and, like, enjoying myself. Like,
Right.
bro, I'm going to make my own memories that are not always predicated on me being a host.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, I want to enjoy myself.
Yeah,
And, like,
and
I feel like I deserve that.
Oh, 100%. And that, dude, honestly, like Memorial Day weekend, like that was more important than making $25,000 today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the paychecks are great, but it's like at the end of the day, it's just a number on a screen.
Yeah.
And like that's what's crazy. Like you'll get more enjoyment from like friends showing up for you, doing things for you, like family being there for you, like, or you being there for others than you will about like making the money and all these things. But the good part is like when shit hits the fan and you need to like have money to like take care of your mom or your dad or whatever, it's like you're secure in knowing the fact that, hey, I can handle this.
Yeah. And a big thing too for me was like even with making the money, it still made me realize that, like, bro, if you make a ton of money, then you sit at home at night and you lay in bed and you're like, all right, like, was it really that important?
Yeah.
And some days I'm just like, no, it really wasn't that important. Was that $3,000 worth it?
Yeah.
Like, no, it actually wasn't. Like, it's these small things, dude. It's everybody who doesn't have money cares about money. And then once you make money, you realize that it's not even that important.
Yeah.
It's just a push or pull society.
Right.
And that's why they divvied up low, middle, and high class.
Yeah.
That's why they did that shit for a reason.
Because I did it like all backwards. Like a lot of guys are like, when they're early on, they're like, I want to make so much money. Like I was like, when I was 21, like I was trying to get on the fire department, and I knew I was only gonna make $50,000 a year. And then I was working as a security guard in Old Town for like 6 years. So I was a bouncer, like taking all the girls' IDs. I was dating. I like pretty much every year I was like like my girlfriend was the bottle girl at Whiskey Row. Then I was dating my other girlfriend was a bartender at Bottle Blonde. So it's like I was stuck in this rotation of like I'm not making any money, but I'm dating beautiful girls. But then I have like, I have like a good friend group, but I never had any money. So like I'd never take her to dinner or anything like that. Like it was always a struggle. So I like felt like I lived my life like backwards, where I was like, oh, I don't care about money.
Yeah.
And then finally when I turned 26, I was like, dude, I'm done being broke. Like I got $1,000 in my bank account. Like I'm a firefighter. I like make no money, and I'm like, I'm ready to like start flipping houses. And like, I know I'm smarter than a lot of people, but I just got to go learn, the right skills so that I can, basically like go find the houses, flip them, do all the work. And it's like, that's what's crazy. Like if you can learn a good skill set, like you're unbeatable. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Like a lot of people want to start a business, and I always tell them, like, you don't have to start a business, man. Just acquire skills.
Right.
Skills pay the bills. Like if you're sitting there right now, you're like, I want to make 10 grand a month. That's everyone's dream.
Right.
Let me get to 10 grand a
Right.
month. Okay, do sales. Bro, it's the fastest way to make 10
Yeah.
grand a month. The fastest way.
But that's what's weird. Like no one's really talking about like selling high ticket products. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I think like someone soon should like start really like, cause I talk to like my friends all the time. I'm like, dude, why don't you do high ticket sales? And they're like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like it's like, I know it's like coming out more and more and more, and people are talking about it, but just the general public doesn't really know like, hey, you can go sell other people's high ticket products and make really good money.
Bro, you can make like the $15,000 products that we sell. Like, bro, they get 15%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
What is that?
Their
Yeah.
cash is like $1,500.
Yeah,
What is
15
that?
yeah.
Yeah, $1,500. No, it's actually more.
Yeah.
It's like $20-something $100.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
like
in
you
a
can-
30-minute
yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. Like in a day. Yeah.
Still one a
You know
day
what
at
I
60
mean?
grand a month.
Yeah. So it's like you can go and make 20 to 30 grand a month selling high ticket products for someone else, like high ticket coaching for someone else. And like, it's just, I don't think people want to go and like do the research. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to go find like what's work.
Because it
like,
requires work.
Yeah, it requires work. And people are just like so stuck. Well, I could just go bartend down the street. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like, do you want to do that till you're 40? And if you're a girl, I don't even know if you could do that, you know?
Yeah, definitely
If you're a
don't wanna
girl,
do
you know
that.
what I mean? All the bottle girls, like, they go from bottle girls, and then by the time they're 30, they're either insurance agents or they're real estate agents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're like, well, that's what all the other girls are doing.
Yeah.
Or estheticians, you know? And it's just like, at some point, you got to be like, okay, I'm going to go figure it out on my own. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much how I did it. Like, I kept just looking at people who were making money. And I saw your Instagram profile, and I'm like, dude, this guy is killing it. Like, you know, like, he's just killing it on the paid advertising. I'm like, how can I monetize what I've been doing? And I'm like, well, I'm really good at sales. I'm good at real estate. So I'm like, if I could get into that niche, you know, I'm like, I think if I get the right person to help me build that, then I could really, like, you know, blow it up.
Dude, some of the smallest skills that people have, they just underplay it so much too.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like I know how to, like, dude, there's an offer that I run from somebody right now. You're going to die laughing at this. We run it mostly on ClickBank with affiliates and like YouTube ad traffic. Bro, it's literally how to take a metal detector and make 10 grand a month. And that's his offer. This guy he's a competitor at these like metal detector competitions. And he was like, bro,
Isn't that
I know
crazy?
how.
I've never heard of
He's
that.
like, bro, I
That's
know
funny.
the right zip codes. I know where to find shit.
No way.
I will give people, we call it the treasure map.
Wow, that's
And it's
awesome.
a United States zip code treasure map. And it
Wow.
literally gives people these zip codes.
No way.
And they go out and they can go grab their metal detector and they can go
Wow.
fucking make 10K a month by finding old jewelry and shit like that.
That's so cool.
Like, dude, that offer
Yeah.
does like 600 grand a month right now on just
No
YouTube
way.
ads. Bro, it kills it. Yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's just crazy. Like, people are making money off things you'd just never expect. You know
Dude,
what
it's
I mean?
crazy.
And like, so like, do you think you're gonna start doing other businesses? Do you think it's better to just double down on what you're doing? Because, like, you know, you keep seeing like these people who are like business brokers. They're like, oh, you gotta start buying businesses. A lot of guys are doing home service based businesses.
Yeah.
Or do you just build off of your little honeycomb and kind of build out? Because you're talking about potentially buying like a podcast business where.
Yeah, so I'm actually going there later for that.
Okay.
So I got a meeting at 5 for that. I think the biggest thing, dude, is that we're buying bolt-ons. People will get into businesses that I think are just like distractions. So what do I mean by that? Okay, you run a wholesaling business and you go out and buy an SEO agency. What the fuck was the point of that?
Right.
There's no correlation. There's no bolt-on.
Yeah.
But if you bought a real estate SaaS company, now we have something to bolt onto your business to give to wholesalers.
Right.
Like I only look for congruency and bolt-ons. So like with us, we have Wojo Media, Scale Your Ads, and then we have Elliott Leads, and then we have the book. Those are all things that funnel to Wojo Media.
Right.
But I'm not going to go buy a car wash.
Yeah.
What is the car what's the car wash going to do for Wojo Media? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's
going to wash the supercars.
Yeah. That's it. It's literally a distraction.
No,
like
yeah.
it's like
Yeah. That's funny.
yeah, dude, people get into businesses and I'm like, bro, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh,
Like
it has
cash-
good cash flow. I'm like,
like
cash flow or distraction.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's what a lot more people are trying to do, like with the bolt-ons, because like we're building a school community, and so like that's the next thing that I'm gonna have you guys launch is a school page.
Yeah.
And so like that's huge because it's like cool if I can get 1,000 members paying $100 a month, it's like extra $100,000 in my bank every month. You know what I mean? So it's like the bolt-ons is huge, but it's got to be congruent, like you
Yeah,
said.
of course. Yeah.
So. So what do you think, like, if you were going to start all over from scratch, what would be the first thing that you would do? If you had no money and you moved
Damn.
to Scottsdale.
That's a depressing world.
no money, but you moved here, you had no friends, you didn't know anyone, but you knew everything you knew. What would you do to start making money again?
I would do sales, either solar or roofing.
Okay.
And then the second thing, bro, this is so off spectrum, but so true. I would make money from sales, and I would actually have a dating coach at the same time.
Okay.
And that's what I would do. And there's a reason why I would do this.
Why the dating coach?
If you're selling, you will be so good at sales if you know how to talk to women. If you know how to talk to women and close women quickly, bro, you will forever never have to worry about money.
It's true.
Because if you can convert women,
It's the hardest sale.
Yeah, dude.
It's the
It's like
it's the hardest sale
so it's like
for some people.
yeah. So like selling solar and roofing and home services, like all that high ticket stuff that even if you sold a $30,000 solar job and you get 5-10%, dude, you're still walking away with $1,500, you know, $3,000. Okay, cool. And then if you can go out with your friends and you can control conversations and you can own the room and you can own the group, you win too.
Yeah.
So like both of those go hand in hand. And then dude, from there, I mean, dude, if you're doing well in sales, I would probably then start like a sales agency where I place sales closers in other people's businesses.
Yeah.
Because if I had experience of all the systems and processes within a solar company or a home service company, I would take that and run my own show.
Right. So are you door knocking? That's how you
I would door knock for sure. Like
knock.
the first thing I would door knock is probably window washing, to be honest, bro. Window washing is so easy to sell.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends who do that, even
Yeah.
from back home in New York. Like they make 10-15 grand a month just like selling window
Isn't that
washing.
crazy?
Because it's easy, bro.
Yeah,
you just have to
it's
fucking
easy.
squeegee. Like if you can't do that, bro, I mean, fuck
But
it.
what's
There's
weird
no
in
cost.
solar right now is a lot of guys are on the door knocking model, which like I don't get it because like Zane, the guy, you've seen that Zane guy. So it's like he's all about like Facebook leads and all this other stuff, and I'm like, why do you have a team of 50 door knockers when you can just run ads? You know,
Because, well, the door knocking is going to get a higher conversion rate.
Yeah,
It will.
Yeah,
it's just that the ad stuff is sexy because it's virtual. It's
Right.
another virtual angle.
Yeah,
And like you don't have to get off your ass and
Right.
lifestyle.
Right. So with some of your clients, and I think, like, would you say Andy Elliott's your biggest client? Who's making the most revenue? Because I think, did he say he's making like over 150 million in a year?
He does about over 100 million a year.
Okay. So
And then
what?
I have another client whose guaranteed rate. You know who that is. You're in the real estate space. You should know who that is. I run all their Google ads and like PPC. They're massive, dude. They're doing fucking couple billion a year guaranteed rate.
Really?
So like that's been fun. I do consulting for them on like their sports ads.
Oh, really?
And then Andy definitely
Andy what is he mostly selling? Is it mostly sales training?
So it's sales training, it's events, it's CRM build outs, it is marketing funnels, which is what we're doing at LA Leads, and then we have his book funnel. His book funnel, like, dude, his book funnel gets everybody in the ecosystem, and like we take all the retargeting traffic from all the video views, retarget them, goes to the book funnel slaps. We get them on reoccurring on the book funnel through an upsell, and then we also have where there's a lifetime upgrade, and then we give them a ticket to an event. A lot of the money he makes is going to the events, dude. It's a great funnel. Like book funnel, you get the thing in hand. That's why I made a book. Like, dude, I'm telling you right now, a book is going to have a high ass LTV because you get something in hand, give it to them, and they're like, oh my God, I can touch it, I can feel it, I can read it, I can see it.
Oh, I see.
So that's why the LTV is higher, and then you funnel them to events. The events sell high ticket, and then you have a back end mastermind. I just released my mastermind, so that's exciting. But like,
And on the low ticket, why do you think the low ticket product's so important?
It's because people are tired of getting scammed on a one-time high-ticket purchase. They want to be able to see something first from somebody.
Right.
Like, if their $37 product's good, they gotta have a really good fucking 7K.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where you're proving to them that trust.
Right.
Did they deliver it?
Yeah.
Is the email look nice? Is the product look nice? Is it not shit? Like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
Did I get a quick win? Do I feel like he knows what he's talking about? Can I trust him further?
You almost have to over deliver on the front end.
Yes.
Just so that people really, really know, like, and trust you. So then they're like, okay, this is going to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what I've been getting. And so we've been trying to build out more and more free content and more stuff. And, you know, try and give away some of the, you know, instant access to free trainings that we're doing and stuff like that. But also, like you had said, you had spent, I don't know, how much money have you spent of your own money on your own personal branding and ads and all that? It's over $1 million though.
It's over 3.
Yeah, it's over 3.
Yeah, I think
told
about
me.
3.5
3,
mil.
yeah.
Across, if you're including ad spend,
right?
So ad spend, personal branding, press. Yeah, it's got to be over 3.
Yeah. And what was crazy was you were saying that before all that, you didn't even really have a low ticket product that you were really running. So you ran a ton of money. But the whole point of the low ticket is to kind of offset some of the ad cost, right?
Yeah. It just self liquidates. So like if you spend, let's say you spend $100 a day and you got 5 people to buy a $10 product, technically you got $100 worth of ad spend for $50.
Right.
And what else did you do?
Right.
You got leads.
You got leads.
So, and you might maybe got a book call or two. Like those things you basically got for half the price.
Right. So that's what's crazy, and people don't realize that. And then once you get that in the hand, that they really just want to see that. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I just want to go through the book, but they're not even gonna like implement the stuff from the book. They actually want you to do it for them, which is crazy.
Dude, they're just buying the book, by the way. They're not, like 99% of them won't even read it. They're buying it to say, is the quality of the book good? Is there shit in the pages? Okay, cool, I'm in now. Like, whatever you want to sell me, I'm open to it.
Right.
That's all they're doing.
Right. Yeah, because right now it's like you have the lowest point of like everyone thinks everything's a scam. They think you're not going to do it correctly.
That's terrible.
And do you think there's a way to figure out how to vet people out that you're like, okay, this person's legit?
I mean, bro,
because I've figured it out.
Yeah, I mean,
I know when people are
It
good.
is a biased question to ask me because I know what makes somebody authoritative.
Yeah.
But like, okay, a couple things that I'll say is like, one is running events, okay? And like, if you can run an event without people locally coming to the event and saying that you're a scam, and like, dude, if you were pissing off that many people, I would have all these people at events, and there would be one person per city who's like, you scam me, fuck you. Like, they would go in person and say it.
Right.
So running events is a big authority figure piece. Two is like, are you around long enough? I think that's a big thing that people don't really realize. Like, if you haven't gotten sued, I haven't gotten sued in 6 years. If you haven't been hit by the FTC, like, and if you've been around for more than 5 years, like, you're doing something right and you have a good business.
Yeah, I agree.
Third is, like, are you actually doing what you preach? I always talk about, oh, post more content. Well, if I wasn't posting videos, then I'm a hypocrite. Four is everything that I talk about. Like, am I doing? I talk about email. We send emails every fucking day.
Yeah.
Like,
and the emails are really good.
Yeah, like
The emails
doing weekly webinars.
Yeah,
I talk about that. Do we do it? Yeah. I run ads for it. Do I have a book? Yeah. I run ads. Like, everything that I'm talking and telling people to do, I'm doing myself.
Right.
Use Hyros. I have Hyros. Like, all these things. Like, I think the biggest way to find if someone's full of shit is, like, yeah, reviews are important, but like, dude, regardless, bro, I'm still going to get one person for every 100 who is annoying, who's not satisfied, like, because they're just not rich in 30 days. And like, that's part of being in the ad space. If you look at most ad agencies, man, fucking 3.7, 4 stars, 4.1, 4.4, like, those are good. We have a 4.7. Like, I'm happy with that. I'm not mad about that. You know, there have been cases, and I'm a transparent person, there have been cases where people have not been satisfied. And like, dude, there's never been a person that we've sold, though, that has not made money back. There's never been a person in my entire fucking tenure where someone's like, yo, we didn't get one sale. We didn't get one lead. Because sometimes when they're mad, we get them a ton of leads, but then they can't close shit. I'm like,
and that's not your fault.
Dude.
That's
it's not my fault, but they make it my fault.
Right.
Because, oh, you were in my ads manager pressing the buttons. Like, bro, it's a lead with 3 questions. Where the fuck is the close?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. I mean, I'm in a
that
very
was
fishy
that
space.
was a huge issue for us, was the sales process. And like, Christian was like, hey, I'm gonna hop on one of your calls and listen. And then after, he was like, wow, that was really bad. I was like, really? I was like, dude, I thought it went great. And he's like, no, it's terrible.
Dude,
He's
Christian's
like,
funny, dude.
He's like, I should send this to Jason just to shame you. He's like, absolutely, just whatever you did, just don't do that again. And I was like, all right. Like,
Christian's funny,
So like,
bro.
dude, we like, I started just like crafting together. I mean, you saw our pitch deck. So I put that together, and then I started rewriting everything because I'm like, oh, dude, I'm not going to do a bad job at this. You know,
man, but it's good that you're taking action. Most people say, oh, I'll just get the next one. I don't want to fix it. It's like, bro, like, sales is a numbers game, but if you can fix the shit, then put your money up and fix it.
But you have to ask people like what they truly think. And like, when Christian like really just destroyed me, I was like, dude, oh my God. He's like, dude, yeah, that's why like Jason's guys close like 25% of the leads, because like they actually have a good sales process. And I'm like, all right, dude, like, I'm going to fix this real quick. And like, now we're doing really good, you know?
It's great, bro.
So it's honestly like, you got to take the critiques, but you have to really like watch your competition. I think that's a big thing that I've learned from you guys, is that like, you guys watch your competition and then you're just like, okay, how can we do it better? You know? And so like, that's huge. Like I go through all sorts of presentations, talk to people, and I'm looking at their websites and I'm like, okay, what can I do to improve this? Because like, obviously we're so new as a real estate education company that I'm like learning a bunch of this stuff, and then I'm learning stuff from you and see how you're doing your things. And so you have to implement what you hear. Otherwise you're not going to progress, you know?
And dude, the thing that you're open to is the criticism, dude. I see So many people that I've coached in the past, dude, and they just like, they don't want to take anything.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh no, I know how my customers react. I
Yeah.
know how they act. I'm like, you're not making
Yeah.
more money. Shut up and
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
And people don't want to shut up and listen.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, just because you think you know your avatar does not mean that the cold traffic market is the same way.
It's the
You've
same
sold
way.
friends your whole
Yeah.
life. You sold referrals and warned people.
Right.
You don't know what it feels like for
Yeah.
someone on the phone to be like,
You-
yeah, why the fuck should I trust you? Oh,
Yeah.
what's the program entail? Yeah, I think I had to talk to my wife about it. Like, you don't understand that stuff, and then intrinsically you blame the leads.
You blame the
It's like,
leads.
bro, they're
Yeah.
cold traffic. They
Yeah.
don't know who the fuck you are. You have to be
Right.
good.
And that's like the thing. It's like you can't like teach like an old dog new tricks. It's like you really have to have the mindset of like, hey, I don't know what I don't know, and be way more open to like, okay, I can improve this. I can improve this. I can improve this. Because like once I started doing that more and more and more, and then I put in the pitch deck, then I fixed the pitch deck, then I put in the testimonials, all that stuff. Like people were like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
good.
And like giving them more and more free content, because that's
Good visual.
that's huge. You know what I mean? Like just looking at your stuff and how it's set up, it's the branding, the branding, the branding. Like honestly, like I didn't even really spend that. I think I spent like 20 minutes on a phone call with you guys, and I spent $15,000. You know, so it's just kind of funny. It's like the branding and like what you're putting out first will really just like sell it. You know what I mean? Like even your sales guys, he's like, I don't even want to push the sale on you. And then like he was like totally cool. He's like, oh, just go to the event, and then you're like, nah, I'm gonna get
Yeah,
him.
bro, I closed before the event. I was like, bro, fuck that
yeah,
shit.
Yeah, like Jason hops on the phone. He's like, I'm gonna close him, and I'm like, Jason. I was like, what? I'm like, damn, he's for sure gonna close me. That was the first thing I thought. I was like, he's gonna close me, and then you're like, all right, what's your Amex? I'm like 1, 2, 3, like you know, like I'm like, oh, I gotta tell him what it is. I'm like, what else do you want?
I gotta
You
tell
know?
him what it is.
Yeah, I was like, God damn, I gotta give him my credit card. I was like, I know he's gonna make
Dude,
me a
that
lot
is
of money,
great.
you
That's
know,
great.
and you have, and like, dude, I'm super excited. So, you've been crushing it. You got anything else you want to add?
I mean, dude, the only thing that I want to add is what I'm seeing in the market right now. Like right now more than ever, all the things that I talk about besides ads are making a huge difference. Because I'm seeing people kind of have this like pushback right now with like sales.
Yeah.
Over the last 45 days, dude, we've seen a little bit of a drop, not in revenue wise, but how long it takes for a lead to close. We've seen it.
Yeah.
So like, dude, it was usually one call closes. Right now, we're actually having a lot more like 5 to 7 day follow-ups.
Yeah, we are too.
Like, dude,
Me
it's
too.
taking
Yeah.
long. I think people are having a little bit of pushback from the market. Money's not going as far as people would like.
Yeah.
And dude, it is election year. Like, I'm not into politics,
Yeah.
but like this starts to happen. People start
Right.
to get a little bit more fucking scared about where their money is. So,
Yeah.
you know, if you're a business owner listening, like you have to understand that your sales process has to be really dialed in and understand what nurturing is and understanding what not being so pushy is and having good ecosystem, like having organic and the branding
Right.
piece. So if you don't have those things, it's going to take you longer to convert people, which means more money out of your pocket, more money to the ad platform, like less of a ROAS, and
Right.
overall more headaches. So it's not a scalable business when you don't have a good sales process. It's just
Yeah.
more. It's just more friction, and you're making it harder for your prospects to say yes.
Right.
Because you're
100%.
taking so goddamn long to give them all
Right.
the value that they needed to make a decision. That's
Yeah.
product knowledge. So
Yeah.
like little things that we do with our team with training and all that, it matters a huge amount. And people
Yeah.
are rearing away from it because they're so like, I need to hold my money right now shit. And it's
Right.
like, bro, this is where you spend money.
Yeah.
Like when the market's doing this is where you make more moves. Because if
Yeah.
I can make a decision in 20 minutes and you make a decision in 7 days,
Right.
bro, the amount of multiplier I'm already ahead of you is
Right.
just disgusting.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you go spend that money, you're gonna make it back faster, and then you're gonna make more money.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to go through that like lull period of like, oh shit, like I'm down a little bit, but like, hey, now I'm coming up hard
Yeah.
because like now I'm starting to see my bank account go way up now, you know, and it's like, yeah, I had to go through a couple months where it was like, hey, I have to build this out. I got to do all these things. And it took a ton of work. Like it took a ton of work. And like, honestly, it's totally worth it. You just got to be willing to do it. And then like, it's like if you spend, 15 grand, but then you start making 50,000 a month, it's like, dude, who cares? Go into debt. Like
But
you're
dude,
gonna,
you could tell
you know?
people that and they still won't
Yeah.
do it anyway because
Yeah.
they have this like lack of belief shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I go over
Yeah.
some motivational stuff
Right.
at the events.
Yeah.
I try to hit those things, but like to be honest, bro, I can't force somebody to literally believe in themselves.
Yeah.
I have to show them visuals.
Yeah.
Like that's why I do
Yeah.
like I know people see that with the bank account stuff. We had to show that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't remember that, then you're not a buyer.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was so important.
And like your famous line, what's your famous line?
Oh, everyone's an entrepreneur until the invoice comes.
Yeah.
Bro, that shit crushes, bro.
Yeah. It's
so good.
It's like the most real statement. And it's like, I always think about that. And then whenever like, you know, we have to spend money on a house and it's like $5,000 for like water damage, I'm like, I just think about that and I'm like, okay. Run it. And they're like, you're gonna make $40,000 on this deal, dude. It's $5,000, and I'm like, oh, it's $5,000 now, but it's $40,000 later. And it's like you just gotta stop worrying about it. And I know it's hard, like, but like once, like I'm sure for you, it's like, dude, you could spend money on anything because you're like, well, I know I'm gonna like it's gonna work. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, how much money did you spend on your events? I think you said.
Holy shit, bro.
Was it a couple $100,000?
Yeah, we spent about $400 and like $50,000 on all the venues and all that. Bro,
Yeah.
I had to spend money with ads too. With ads, it was like $800,000.
Yeah.
So with ads, $800,000, all the venues, bro. Before we even got a fucking ass in the chair.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Do you know what the ROI on
Yeah,
that was
we
at?
did about 2.3 million on all the events. Yeah.
But even if like, and let's say even if you broke even, right?
Even if I broke even, I'm still
you're
be
still
pumped.
winning.
Bro, the amount of
your
emails we
brand,
got,
yeah.
we had about 2,800 people attend events. And the
crazy.
email list, we got about 30,000 people on the list.
That's nuts.
Bro, 30,000 people on the list will make me $30,000 a month to about 35,000 a month off 30,000 people who signed up for a free event, right? And now we're running paid, so that's cool. But like, dude, it's this thing where like, I am a big believer in reach and assets and acquiring data.
Right.
And that's it, bro. It's like, dude, even if I broke even, bro, I would be fucking gassed.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Because even if I broke even,
your brand's
if
bigger,
I broke even, that means that I would have spent an extra 1.5 mil on ads. 1.5 mil in ads, man. You know how much fucking reach that would get me?
Right.
Like,
and you're gonna have a lot of those sales come back anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's people who signed up, like we see Hyros, man. We see people who signed up for events who never even showed up.
Yeah.
Who buy on the phone.
Yeah.
We can see all the tags, and we're like, this fucker signed up for Dallas, didn't show up.
Because I almost didn't go. I was like, I'm going to buy, and then your sales guy was like, dude, you got to go. And I was like, dude, I just don't have the time, which I really did have the time. I really did have the time, but like, I was telling him that, and I'm like, dude, that's my Saturday, bro, you know? And he's like, bro, like, this is your business. And I'm like, I know, but I've been, you know, but it's like, you got to make the sacrifices. And then I went, and I was super hungover, which is horrible. But like, dude, it was like such a life-changing event for me. Fucking back-to-back days. I was like, this is badass. I was like, I really wish I didn't drink last night, but I was like, I'm really glad I came. And dude, it was a life-changing event, but it was super cool. And what's crazy is like, you don't even charge for that. And then the people that go, I was like looking around, I'm like, dude, more people aren't buying this?
Bro, we had
like,
8 people that event who bought.
Yeah. How many?
And like 7 to 8, I think.
That's
7 to 8.
crazy. And
bro,
how
and there
many
was
shows?
45 in the room. 40-ish, 35-ish.
That's not bad though.
I mean, dude, it's not bad,
like,
but everybody should have bought because
should have bought.
Before we stopped, like we stopped doing the ROI guarantee. Yeah. You got in with that offer. Yeah. That's a no-brainer fucking offer. No-brainer.
Yeah.
And people are still sitting there like,
no. And it's like you're just dropping bombs, you know? Like you were dropping bombs like on all this stuff and like people were still skeptical. I'm like, dude, and it's just they just don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there was that couple in the front of the room on the front left, and they were like 45 and 50-ish. And they were like, yeah, like, you know, we're just trying to get these businesses off the ground. I'm like, bro, I think you're not buying. Here's the real reason, bro. Here's where people that are older than me, it's hard for them to buy from me sometimes that are way older.
Right.
They're just fucking mad about it.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, this kid's making so much money and he's 26. Like, fuck this kid. I'm not buying his stuff.
Yeah, or the guy
and
who
they're
had
mad.
the tech company. Yeah.
Bro, that guy was questioning me, and he's like, oh, we did $1 million last year. I'm like, bro, that's not fucking, slow down. Okay, you're in the wrong fucking room to be throwing that. Like,
yeah, that was funny, dude. I was dying. I was like, well, he's going toe to toe with the wrong person. Yeah. But no, dude, I appreciate you coming on the show and
of course.
And like I'm excited you're moving here. We'll do some cool stuff while you're
hell
here.
yeah.
And if you
Go
need
to the
anything,
W.
let me know. Yeah, we'll be at the W. Cool. So thanks for checking out the podcast. If you guys have any questions, want to check out Jason, it's at the Jason Wojo
at the
on
Jason
Instagram.
Wojo. Yep.
Check him out and appreciate you guys.